This is Loki with Blue Collar Prepping, and today we're going to talk about two things. One is using paracord as bootlaces. It's been discussed more than once that paracord is incredibly handy. It makes a good bootlace. It's tough, about the right diameter. If you're like me and you wear boots pretty frequently, my boots eat laces. Paracord lasts longer, plus I've got 5 feet of paracord roughly on each boot. Now, the downside to a paracord bootlace is the end is floppy and doesn't thread very well. When you buy normal shoelaces or bootlaces, they have a hard spot on the end. It's called an avlet. Random trivia for the day. And that avlet helps it thread through the eyes on a boot. Well, we can actually pretty easily put avlets onto paracord, and at the same time, we'll teach you another handy skill about heat shrink. Heat shrink is generally used in electrical applications to protect wire and stress points or to protect joints in wire. Comes in a 6-inch piece, generally about like that. Sometimes you can order them longer. I will have a link to the kind of heat shrink that I like below the video. I happen to be using clear to make my avlets because that goes best with the purple. In order to do heat shrink, I have a heat gun. This one I think set me back about 15 bucks on my local Harbor Freight. I know it's about $19 on Amazon. I've also got a link for that. A heat gun is basically a hairdryer with a turbocharger. There are some hair dryers that will get hot enough to melt heat shrink. Not many, and for the cost, just a heat gun is a better option. This one will get hot enough to actually melt the end of the paracord if I put it into the high mode. So that's another way that you can melt it without using open flame. If you don't have a heat gun, you can do heat shrink with a cigarette lighter. I don't recommend it, but it does work. I've done it before. To do your heat shrink, you simply take a pair of scissors, cut off about 3/4 of an inch or whatever you need for your current project. Slide it right over the end of your piece of paracord. There on my neck so the cat doesn't get a hold of it, because he does like to play with that. I will put the heat gun in the low mode. It's got 2 settings, got a high and a low. Low is plenty of heat to do this. It only takes a couple of seconds. And it shrinks right down and conforms to the size and shape of your paracord. Now I like my avlets fairly stiff, and as you can see, a single layer is pretty squishy. So what I do is I take a second piece of heat shrink, slide it right over top of the first piece, hit it with the heat again, and when it cools down, it will be nice and stiff and thread nicely through your bootlaces. One other thing to be very aware of, this does get to a few hundred degrees. It will burn you. As well, the tip of your heat gun and the element in your heat gun are hot and will stay hot for a few minutes. So watch where you set it, watch your hands. But other than that, it's a good tool, it's a good technique. And like I said, it's useful for electrical repairs, various other things you want to protect around the house. Thank you very much.